Hello followers, if you are visiting my channel first time, please subscribe it. It will give the notification once I uploaded the video immediately. Okay, let's begin with the topic. Today, what we are going to see how we can integrate SQL with PLSQL. So, if what is the main difference in the SQL? If you are running the statement, we have to run one by one. If you want to run sequence of script, then what we can do, we can put it in PL/SQL and run it once. Okay, multiple script, multiple SQL statement, we can run it on. So in this video, we can see how we can integrate all the DML operation in the PL/SQL. Okay, the syntax, whatever we used in the SQL, similar thing we can use. Just we will add begin end, then we can put inside, we will keep the whatever the DML operation we want to do it. Okay, so and whenever we do the commit, similar how it's permanent in SQL, similar way it will send the instruction to SQL engine. Okay, so and here we have some more control. So we can whenever the SQL statement fire, Oracle immediately create the implicit cursor. So whenever the SQL statement running in the PLSQL program, it will create implicit cursor. It's having some attributes, some cursor attributes. There is SQL row count. So how many rows affected? That row count we can able to identify calling this SQL row count attribute. SQL found. If any rows are found, then true, then it will give true. If it's no rows affected, then SQL not found give the um, okay. That's the way we can identify the rows are impacted or not. See, before without checking, if you are doing any update, see, the update is not happening. Still, if you are committing means it's giving the some right to the DB. So we can avoid those kind of unwanted commit. Okay, so we can do some auditing using this cursor attributes. Okay, that's a way. And if you want to apply any business logic before updating, before doing any DML operation, we can use using control structure. We can do it and we can perform the operations. Okay, so example. So this is the one of the example. So I am updating this table, employee table with salary 500 for employee ID 1. If the employee ID 101 is available, then it will update. Then SQL found will be true. Then it will print. The employee is not available, then it won't it will give the message like employee not found. So if instead of keeping the commit here, if we keep here only it's updated, then only it will commit. Okay, in the PLSQL for we won't do frequent commit. So entire execution we will keep one commit to remove the performance bottleneck. Okay, whenever you commit the give the commit instruction, it will contact the SQL engine and it will do the right operations. Okay, so that's why for entire block you have to give only one commit to improve the performance. Okay, so it's now same whatever we learned in the SQL, similar thing we can use it in PLSQL. Okay, so here just I am showing it how we can integrate, but on the cursor topic, I will explain more about the implicit and explicit cursor and how we do it. Okay, so these are the things. Let's go with uh, the practical session. Okay, let's run it. So I am getting one table. Okay, let's. So I am creating this employee table already is there. So I am creating this employee table. So table is created. Then I want to insert. Okay. So I'm inserting it. See, just begin in block. Just I am inserting it. Okay, it's PLSQL procedure completed. So just for now, we are keeping only one statement. In the real time, what happened? We may be getting the thousands of insert scripts. Okay, if we keep thousands of insert script in SQL one by one, it will run. So we can put it in single begin and block, and we can trigger it once. Okay, so when we receive the input from the front end, so they will pass the input, and the input variable we can assign to the variables and we can insert it. Okay, that's the way the real time work. So integrating with PLSQL. Before inserting it, any validation we want to do it, we can do the validation and we can go for the DML operation. Okay, so let's go with the SQL row count and that example. Okay. So this is here what I am going to do. Just I am going to update employees with 500. So let's go with that. Now just okay. I have the employee 101 is 5,000 salary. For I am just adding it with 500. So if it's updated, then it will give the SQL found and this message. Else it will go here. Then it will commit. Example. Okay. So now see employee updated. So it's running here. So means it's updated. So if you query, it's you can see this 5,500. Example, now I am giving 102. 102 we have employee. What happened? So now it won't throw error. See employee not found. This is a error message. Okay. But still we are committing it. Instead of doing this, what we can do, we can keep it in here. So whenever the update happens, then do the commit. Or else no need of doing the commit. Okay, that's the way we can avoid unnecessary commit. Okay, so now, so if we run this, so it's not committing because it's not, we don't have this employee ID. Okay, that's the way we work. This is SQL row count. Now I want to show one more table. Okay, putting the multiple insert. Okay, just I am creating one more table. And so this is the table. I'm creating employee demo. I'm going to insert 100 rows. Okay, so 100 rows. If I want to insert one by one in the SQL, we had run it. Instead of doing that, what I am going to do, I am putting in 100 insert script in one SQL step, one PLSQL block. Within begin, just I will run it. So it's completed. Okay, just now I am going to query this table. See now, so 100 records inserted into this record. So now I want to show the block how we can. So if we are okay, I am going to explain how we are doing the operation if the front end. See example, now I am showing it assigning to here. Okay, so I declare the type variable uh, inheriting from the employee demo table. Okay, so and see in the real time this value comes from the front end. Front end they will call it using this variable. So instead of normal unanimable, we will create procedure, and procedure input parameter we will keep it this value. So those input parameter the front end people will call with this value. What will learn, it will come and it will insert to this table. Okay, this table employee table with values, this whatever the variable values it's updated. Okay, so then what happen if we salary is 1.0, we employee for those employee ID, if inserted on this for this employee ID, we are giving 1.10% hike. Okay, if it's found, then we are showing the message it's rows affected and we have updated the salary. Okay. So merge is similar like with class. Okay. So what happened? This using class, whatever we are selecting, this value become a source and this become a target. Okay. So merge into this is a target. Okay, this using class is a source. If the source employee ID and the target employee ID is matching, then the salary, update target salary is source salary. So, okay, the employee ID is matching, just update it. If it's not matching, then insert it. See, sometimes what happen, before doing the DML operation, so they will check if the values are exist, then um, go for update. If it's not exit, go for insert. Those kind of situation, we will use merge. We want to uh, um, do different operation, DML operation. Once is update, if it's matching, if it's not matching, then insert, then we will go for merge. Okay. So that's why we'll try merge also, whatever any operation happen, then we are printing it. Okay. So this SQL row count will produce how many records count affected. Okay. Then we are deleting it. It's deleted means then we will see the same record we are deleting it. Okay. Then rows deleted. Okay. Then we are committing it. So just I am showing it all the operations in the single query. Okay. First we are inserting it and we are updating it, and if we have found, then we are displaying it, and if it's merging it, then we are deleting it. Okay, then we are committing. So single query, I am showing it all this operation. Okay, let me run it. So okay, first what happened, the insert operation will happen. Okay, then it's inserted one records, update operation happen, then it's updated salary updated and merged. So it's matching, so merged, then delete operation happen. Okay. So now if we query the table, we don't see it, but uh, let's, as part of the demo, I will show it. Commenting the delete. Uh, so we don't have, let's command this only the delete. I will command it. So that's the way you will see. Okay. So I am commenting only delete. So that's the way we can see the record. Okay. So now only so now I'm see, now we have the record. So first what happened, first we inserted with 5,000, then the first insert will happen, then what happened, then 10% raise. So we are multiplying it, that's why we are seeing the value 6,000. Okay, then multiplying it, then found this display we see one rows affected, then okay, merge is happening. So this source table, okay, so matching, so target salary as a source salary. Okay, we are just updating it. If not matching, then we will go for merge. Okay, insert. Okay, that's why we are commenting it. So mostly, see, if you see here, this SQL PLSQL integration, whatever we learned in the SQL, same thing without changing any syntax, we can use in PLSQL. The more advantage what we have is we have some implicit cursor attribute to validate the operation happened or not, and we can use um, control structure do some business validations. Okay, so now I showed very minimal validation. So in the real time projects, based on your business need, whatever validation before insert, whatever validation you want to put in, you can put and you can write the insert. Okay, it depends on the business need completely. Okay, that's the way it will work. So um I don't see any complication understanding this topic. Okay, so let's go with the interview questions. Okay, so normally they will ask what is SQL row count. It's a implicit customer attribute variable. So it will returns number of rows affected by the most recent SQL statements. Okay, but the most recent the SQL statement, what how many rows it's impacted affected, those count it will give. Okay, SQL difference between SQL percentage found and SQL percentage not found. SQL found is true when rows are affected. If any rows are affected, then only it's true. If no rows affected, then the SQL not found is true. Okay. Uh, what happens if commit is not? If you are not giving issuing the commit, so it's not it's remain uncommitted. So it can be rolled back until committed. Okay, and within the block, it's still uncommitted state. We can do the commit or rollback once the execution completed. Okay, in the particular session. Can merge, replace, insert, and update? Yeah, see, because we want to do multiple DML operations, so we can using merge, we can achieve it. Okay. So exception block. Future videos I will explain how the exception block handled errors. Okay, so errors and exceptions are different. So in the Oracle, so how we have to handle exception? That's the one future I will show it. Okay. So difference between SQL and PLSQL execution. So SQL executes its individual statement. PLSQL executes procedural blocks. Okay. So it's complete block. It will run as a sequence. But SQL is run the individual statements. Okay. What is implicit cursor? So Oracle automatically creates um, for every DML statement. Okay, and select statement whenever it trigger in the PLSQL block. So how SQL row count is maintained? Oracle automatically updates SQL after each SQL statement. Each SQL statement execution, Oracle automatically updates the SQL row count. Okay. What happen if impact of frequent commits? Okay. Frequent commits increase transaction overhead and can reduce the performance. Okay. So if you use frequent commits, it's increase the overhead. Okay. So because the operation once committed, it's going to write in the DB. So that's why the performance issue. Okay. So do it as a so bulk operations. So this one I will create the video after creating composite variables. Okay. After that I will explain bulk collector and parallel for how it will work. Okay. So it's ready. So the SQL still we will go one by one only. The context switch between SQL engine PLSQL. If you use bulk collector herald, we can use one context to switch to do the complete operation, DML operation. Okay. So in the future videos, I will explain it. Okay. So I think most of the things covered. Okay. So uh, that's what I want to cover it for today. Okay. It's very simple videos, but it gives some basic understanding of PLSQL and SQL integration. Okay. Thank you so much for viewing. Please subscribe my channel. I will be posting the videos, SQL, PLSQL, and performance tuning interview topics. Share it with your friends. Share your feedback. Thank you.